Hello dear listeners, welcome back to Cosmic Cauldrons. As always, I'm your host Nebulae Nix. So, listener, did you know the universe holds secrets darker than the void and brighter than the brightest star? And sometimes, these secrets come not in the waking world but in dreams, where the mind dances with shadows and truths yet unseen. For Astral Weaver, this night aboard the Nebula Nomad was one such night. As she drifted into the depths of sleep, a presence found her, unseen but undeniable. A voice, soft and commanding, like silk woven with steel, echoed in her mind. "You seek answers, child of starlight," the woman said. "You wander the galaxies, but your origin lies forgotten. Come to the coordinates I give you. Find the ashes, and you will find your truth." Images flooded astral streamscape, a ruined planet, vast wastelands, and the faint shimmer of something long lost. Then came the whispers, not words, but emotions, loneliness, desperation, and an aching, unspoken question that had haunted Astral all her life: why am I the last? She woke with a start, sweat beading her brow. Stardust hovered nearby, his crystalline form glowing faintly, concern emanating from his gentle hums. He chirped softly, a sound that always managed to ground her. "I'm fine, Stardust," Astral said, though her voice trembled. She reached for her notebook and jotted down the coordinates from her dream. Her heart felt heavy, yet resolute. "We're changing course. There's something I need to see." The Nebula Nomad hummed to life, its sleek frame cutting through the tapestry of stars as it charted a course to the unknown. Stardust flitted around Astral, his antics a welcome distraction as she prepared for the journey. "You always know how to lighten the mood, don't you?" she said, smiling despite the tension that lingered. Stardust chirped in response, doing an elaborate twirl before zipping off to a compartment Astral rarely checked. Curious, she followed him to find an unassuming alcove tucked away in the Nomad's main chamber. Stardust nudged it open, revealing a small, dusty artifact, a globe. She gasped, recognizing the continents, etched with care. Though she couldn't yet name them, a part of her felt an inexplicable connection. "You've been keeping secrets, haven't you?" she said with a bittersweet smile, running her fingers over the globe's surface. Stardust buzzed as if to say, "You needed to find this when the time was right." The journey to the coordinates was quiet, punctuated only by the soft hum of the Nomad's engines and Stardust's occasional chirps. Astral spent the time poring over what little she knew of human history, cobbled together from fragments found on various worlds. It was a puzzle with too many missing pieces, and the picture it painted was bleak. Stardust often interrupted her studies, playfully stealing her notebook or hovering near the globe as if to say, "Don't forget to breathe." These moments brought brief smiles to her face, a reminder that even in her solitude, she wasn't truly alone. One evening, as the Nomad sailed through a nebula's golden mist, Stardust coaxed Astral to the observation deck. Together, they watched the swirling colors, Stardust's hum harmonizing with the ship's gentle vibrations. It was a moment of peace amid the storm of questions. The Nomad arrived at its destination, a planet shrouded in pale light, its surface scarred and barren. As Astral descended, the air around her seemed to pulse with an eerie stillness. Stardust hovered close, his glow a small comfort against the vast emptiness. The surface was a graveyard of what once was. Shattered buildings stretched toward a sky that seemed perpetually overcast. The ground crunched beneath Astral's boots, brittle and lifeless. She wandered through the ruins, her heart heavy with the weight of a truth she hadn't yet fully grasped. She stumbled upon what might have once been a library. The walls were crumbling, but among the rubble, she found a metal plate etched with symbols she recognized, the same as those on the globe Stardust had shown her. A shiver ran down her spine. "This place," she whispered, her voice barely audible. This was home. The realization struck her like a tidal wave. This was Earth. Her Earth. But where were its people? What had become of them? As she explored further, she found remnants of humanity's ingenuity, rusted vehicles, faded photographs, and decayed technology. Each artifact was a story, a fragment of a life long extinguished. A presence brushed against her mind, warm and calming. It was the alien demon king, his silent reassurance washing over her like a gentle tide. He didn't speak, but the concepts and emotions he shared painted a vivid picture. Astral saw humanity's final days, climate collapse, resource wars, and the desperate, brilliant decision to alter themselves genetically to survive on alien worlds. She felt their fear, their hope, and their sorrow as they left Earth behind, becoming something more, yet less, than what they had been. Tears streamed down her face as she absorbed the truth. "I'm the last," she whispered. "The last unaltered human." Stardust nestled against her cheek, his hum soothing. He was her anchor, her light in the darkness. Together, they stood in silence, the weight of the moment shared but not lessened. As Astral turned to make her way back to the Nomad, her thoughts swirled like the galaxies she had so often traversed. Each step through the desolate ruins felt heavier than the last, her boots disturbing the ash and debris that whispered of lives long gone. Stardust hovered beside her, his gentle hums a reminder that even in this vast emptiness, she was not alone. She paused at the edge of what had once been a city square. The skeletal remains of towering structures loomed around her, their jagged edges silhouetted against the dim, overcast sky. A faint wind stirred the dust, carrying with it the echoes of laughter, conversations, and the hum of a thriving world. Astral closed her eyes, letting the sensations wash over her. "What were you all like?" she murmured. "Did you know the end was coming? Were you afraid?" Stardust nudged her shoulder gently, his crystalline form glowing brighter for a moment. She smiled faintly, reaching out to touch him. "You're right," she said softly. "There's no use dwelling too much on what's gone. But I can't help but wonder." By the time she reached the Nomad, her resolve had strengthened. She climbed aboard and set the globe carefully on her console, running her fingers over its surface once more. Stardust chirped and floated to his usual perch, watching her intently as if sensing her need for space. For Astral Weaver, the cosmos held answers, but they were never simple. She was a witch among the stars, a guardian of magic and mystery, and now, the keeper of humanity's legacy. As the Nomad drifted among the stars, her journey continued. Yet even as she rested, the voice from her dream lingered. The unseen woman's words echoed faintly, "The silence speaks, child of the stars. Listen carefully, for the shadows are stirring. Good night, traveler, wherever you are in this vast universe. And remember, even in the silence, the magic endures."